And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light that it was good, for the first day.
It's going to be a beautiful day today. Sunshine throughout. Low humidity. Really a splendid afternoon temperature, about 80 degrees. Great weather for the
New York. Good morning. Martell's on your feel-good radio station. We're waking up with Whoopi in less than a half hour from right now. And JoJo.
The first angel sounded. And there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. And they were cast upon the earth. And the third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up.
The only thing you could see from where we were was a big gouge in the earth and some broken trees.
This was where the passengers of United Flight 93 fought back from New York to Washington, D.C., Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Nothing was there. No wreckage, no fire, only a row of burned trees. During that time and the following years, I was one of dozens of reporters who would descend on the FBI and Pennsylvania State Police anytime they'd be willing to talk.
And let it divide the waters from the waters, were the second day. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. And the third part of the sea became blood. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died. And the third part of the ships were destroyed.
The Prestige tanker sank in 2002, spilling more than 50,000 tons of crude into the Atlantic. The Prestige went down off the coast of Galicia, polluting beaches across northern Spain and parts of France. The damage caused by the spill has been estimated at around €4 billion, according to court documents.
Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place. And the gathering together of the waters called he seas, were the third day. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp. And it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood. And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter.
It covered the widest area of any aircraft accident ever.
The wreckage turned out to be spread over 3 separate states, and to date, almost 2/3 of it is still missing.
Search and rescue teams in the Dallas-Fort Worth area have been alerted to the Space Shuttle contingency. Any debris that may be located in the Dallas-Fort Worth vicinity should be avoided and may be hazardous due to the toxic nature of propellants used on board the shuttle, and should be reported to local law enforcement authorities. To repeat, any debris that is located in the Dallas-Fort Worth area should be avoided, as it may be hazardous due to toxic substances used as propellant on board the Space Shuttle, and should be reported to local law enforcement authorities.
All right, with that,
this is Mission Control, Houston.
The Space Shuttle Columbia, on its 28th mission, broke up in flight 6 times the speed of sound.
You know, pieces fell off over there. It was a smell like a mixture of sulfur, peroxide, and Clorox.
And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also, were the 4th day. And the 4th angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise.
Holy moly, what are we driving into now? Look at this. This looks pretty dark. This looks pretty dark.
That is just freaking insane. A complete wall. I've never seen anything like this.
And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels, which are yet to sound. And God created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind, were the 5th day. Revelation 9. And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth.
John Paul II is dead. 26 years after he took the throne of St. Peter, stunning the world with his vigor, his magnetism.
And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit.
In front of the mitre are 2 keys, one gold and the other silver, to represent the power of loosing and binding.
And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace.
Nonetheless, the crowds here, numbering in the tens of thousands, are ready to hear the name of their new pope. They're convinced it's white, and we'll have to see who can sort out this confusion. I guess, Brian, really, we're going to have to wait until we hear those bells or definitive black smoke. At the moment,
as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit.
I should read you Associated Press out of the Vatican is reporting, quote, the dark smoke, which also emerged from the chapel's slender stovepipe after 2 inconclusive morning ballots, meant the Cardinals would have to try again Wednesday. So some news organizations characterizing this as dark, while, as Keith Miller reports, others on the scene and able to see it, especially with the advantage as we have of long-distance television lenses, are calling this either white or light smoke.
And the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded then that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men, and they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. And they had breastplates as it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter.
Try and protect themselves from some unusual hate crimes. As News 10's George Warren shows us, that's put them at odds with their neighbors and city building inspectors.
Basically, we've tracked since 9/11 hate crimes of a and overt nature.
The covert crimes, the family says, include intense microwave radiation aimed at the house. That explains the metal panels. The D'Souza family includes 2 college-educated young women who say scientific instruments prove they are under attack.
The trajectories we've tracked, it's been coming from the neighbors. First, you're skeptical, but we've tracked our health, the temperature in the home. We've had blankets that are supposed to reflect microwave and radar. They're radar reflective material, and they've burned.
Today, the D'Souza family tried to explain to us why they did it with binders of data and electronic measuring devices, which they prove their neighbors are bombarding them with microwaves and other kinds of radiation.
New tonight, police call it bullying on steroids. We're talking about gang stalking, but it actually has nothing to do with the gangs that you first think of. South Coast News reporter Candace Wynn learned more about the trend and how it's getting more dangerous.
Basically, the victims could be driving their car or talking on their phones or walking the streets when a group of people try to systematically terrorize them. Richard said gang stalking is nothing new, but new technology is making it more common.
Gang stalking itself, they have elevated themselves to technology. So this is something that's been going on before the age of Facebook, Twitter, those other social websites. They just now have gone into those areas.
In the image of God created he, him. Male and female created he, them. Were the 6th day. And the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar which is before God, saying to the 6th angel which had the trumpet, Loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the 3rd part of men.
The United States government has gone to great lengths to keep what 61-year-old Mark Klein knows from becoming public.
In other words, if Al-Qaeda or their associates are making calls into the United States or out of the United States, we want to know what they're saying.
So most people hearing that would think, well, I don't make calls to Al-Qaeda, so it doesn't affect me. That's what they wanted you to think.
We want to know what they're saying.
At the end of the conversation that they have somebody that's listening to them. At the end of the conversation that they have somebody that's listening to them. They're getting hit with these weapons. They're getting stung. They're getting sores on their body. Their brains are getting hit. I had a lady call me last night, and they're playing with her heart. Her heart is starting to skip beats, and so they are killing people, and they are driving people to suicide. The oppression is unreal, and I feel so bad. I want to get out there, and I want to do more.
And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire, and smoke, and brimstone. By these 3 was the 3rd part of men killed.
This type of geoengineering uses sulfur dioxide. We're going to inject that into the stratosphere. Sulfur dioxide is the stuff that comes out of volcanoes when they erupt. So when a volcano erupts, there's actually a lot of dust and gases that blot out the sun. So these Harvard researchers, these scientists, are saying that we can mimic what happens after a volcano eruption to reduce temperatures. And the way they're going to do that is airplanes. They say a fleet of specially designed aircrafts can literally spray sulfur particles into the lower stratosphere, and they're saying, hey, dozens of nations already have the money to do so.
New tonight. Here's a tough question for you. Is the government spraying dangerous chemicals over us from planes? Some people believe there's a sinister top secret mission that's making us sick. CBS Atlanta's Jeff Cherico asked the tough question, is this true or just an overblown conspiracy theory?
From the balcony of her Buckhead condo, Ali Valente gets a clear view of what she believes is a secret government plot that's poisoning us.
You look down, though, and you look at the people just moving along and going about their business, and do you feel like...
Like, how can you not look up and see what's going on?
When Ali began noticing a bunch of white lines in the sky blocking the sun, she searched for answers online, and that's where she found information about a conspiracy called chemtrail.
So, is there really poison in the sky? Fox 31's Heidi Hammett investigates.
Because they're using government planes that are unmarked.
And while some call the concept crazy,
So when they say, no, there's nothing going on, I don't believe that.
Is it killing or controlling?
Well, I think it's both. The people who are behind this are looking at control, and depopulation is part of that agenda. We know the numbers. We know respiratory mortality has gone from number 8 on the list of mortality down to number 3, and that's in a 6-year period. So we know conclusively that these programs are having an effect on human health. People are waking up to this, and it's the elephant in the room that cannot be denied.
shows us the results of testing we had done about what's in our skies.
KSLA News 12 had the sample tested at a lab. The results? A high level of barium, 6.8 parts per million, more than 3 times the toxic level set by the EPA.
Basically, chemtrails is a geoengineering program where airplanes fly at high altitudes and they spray chemicals into the atmosphere, including aluminum, barium, and strontium. And then those metals fall to the ground and they land in our bodies, on the soil, in our trees, in our food, and in our water. Many people confuse chemtrails with the normal jet contrails. The difference is that the normal jet contrails actually dissipate within minutes, while the heavy metals in the chemtrails cause those trails to persist for hours. And it's not a hypothetical thing. There are 32 states that already have legislation that's related to weather modification. The U.S. agencies that are documented to be involved in it include the U.S. Air Force, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the U.S. Department of the Interior, the National Science Foundation.
By the fire, and by the smoke, and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths, for their power is in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils, and idols of gold, and silver, and brass, and stone, and of wood, which neither can see, nor hear, nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. And on the 7th day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the 7th day, and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made.
I'm mainly making this video to explain my testimony and mostly a dream that I had. My dream starts off with me walking into a bus. It's like a shuttle, and I see these men dressed in all white. I see that. The dream ends. The next day, I look at the calendar, and all these 7s line up. July 7 lands on Saturday. All dictionaries always declare the 7th day is Saturday. Okay, just so you know. And I'm going to show you the calendar over here. If you look right there, Saturday is on the right. Now, I have not always been Christian, but I came across it says, my sheep will be on the right and the goats on the left. If you look at that calendar, what's on the right? The 7-day Sabbath.
Jesus saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father, but by me. The Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. Therefore the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. Can two walk together, except they be agreed? The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. For many are called, but few are chosen. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman, therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. Son of man, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet, and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. He heard the sound of the trumpet, and took not warning, his blood shall be upon him. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. And they worshipped the sun toward the east. Then he said unto me, Hast thou seen this, O Son of Man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence, and have returned to provoke me to anger, and lo, they put the branch to their nose. Therefore will I also deal in fury. Mine eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity, and though they cry in mine ears with a loud voice, yet will I not hear them. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. Not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
And he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
Thou bearest record of thyself. Thy record is not true.
Though I bear record of myself, yet my record is true. For I know whence I came and whither I go, but ye cannot tell whence I come and whither I go. Ye judge after the flesh. I judge no man. And yet if I judge, my judgment is true, for I am not alone, but I and the Father that sent me. It is also written in your law that the testimony of two men is true. I am one that bear witness of myself, and the Father that sent me beareth witness of me.
Where is thy Father?
Ye neither know me nor my Father. If ye had known me, ye should have known my Father also. I go my way, and ye shall seek me, and shall die in your sins. Whither I go, ye cannot come. Ye are from beneath. I am from above. Ye are of this world. I am not of this world. I said therefore unto you that ye shall die in your sins. For if you believe not that I am he, ye shall die in your sins.
Who art thou?
Even the same that I said unto you from the beginning. I have many things to say and to judge of you, but he that sent me is true. And I speak to the world those things which I have heard of him. When ye have lifted up the Son of Man, then shall ye know that I am he, and that I do nothing of myself. But as my Father hath taught me, do always those things that please him. And if ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
In the US of A, factories and auto dealers are closing. People are losing their businesses, their jobs, their homes, their health care, their investments, their retirement security.
Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only.
An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, the sign of the prophet Jonas. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.